right, we are going to get started. At this time, I would like to invite all of our dignitaries to the stage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Springfield Renaissance faculty, led by our 12th grade crew teachers. Let's show some love for our faculty at Renaissance. There we go. They look amazing tonight. Yes, Renaissance staff showing up. All righty, I know what everyone's waiting for. And now, please rise to welcome the class of 2022. There we go. am definitely loving the energy from the audience. Let's keep it up all night. At this time, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Megan Curley. Let's show some love. Keep that energy up. There we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. At this time, we'll have Samuel Lopez Perez and Leonexis Reyes, class of 2022, lead us in the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaimed the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free
Messed up.
and the home of the brave? Let's give it up one more time for them. Thank you. Guests, at this time you may be seated. The class of 2022 will be sat by our class marshals, Isabella Adorno and Quinn Angel. Greetings to the parents, guardians, community members, foster parents, teachers, Renaissance staff. Greetings to the entire village who helped us help the class of 2022 make it to stage tonight. This is a unique class that from the start of their journey came in with such fire and passion for learning. They are a class that has absolutely made Renaissance proud. I am honored to have been part of their experience at Renaissance, and so it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2022. At this time, I just want to let folks know that the mayor is running a little bit late. He'll be joining us a little bit later, but I wanted to acknowledge that. And so at this time, I am going to take a moment to honor the Renaissance staff. Can you all please stand so that we can formally acknowledge all of you? Thank you. Yes. It definitely has been a few hard years, and I am truly honored to work with such an amazing staff. So thank you, Renaissance staff, for all that you have done for our seniors. At this time, I'm going to welcome our Superintendent, Daniel Warwick, up to the stage. He has been part of the Springfield Public Schools as an educator and a leader in our district for almost 40 years, and as our superintendent since 2012. And he is coming up to address the class of 2022. Let's show him some love.
Thank you and good evening. I'd like to begin my remarks with extending the mayor's, he's in a budget meeting tonight at the city council, so he is going to try to get here because he hates missing these graduations, and he's sorry that the budget meeting is still going on. He will try to get here, but if he doesn't get here, please know that he wants to congratulate you and he missed being here firsthand to do that, and he's very, very proud of you. I'd also like to recognize our members of the school committee that are with us here tonight: Chris Collins, Latonia Naylor, and Denise Hurst. Principal Coburn, the faculty and staff at the Renaissance School, parents, another one, good. Parents, grandparents, and family members. Most importantly, I'd like to recognize our guests of honor, the Renaissance graduating class of 2022. Whenever you accomplish something significant in life, it is important that you recognize the people who supported you along the way. I understand and value the role parents and families have played in this wonderful accomplishment. I'd like to take a moment now to recognize those whose love and support has played a great role in making their students' graduation day a dream realized. Please give a big round of applause for our parents and family members that are here tonight. I always say that teachers and staff in Springfield are second to none anywhere. And I'd also like to take a moment now to recognize and publicly appreciate the incredible staff of Renaissance School. Graduates, we are so proud of you. Many of you have overcome obstacles that may have stood in your way as you work towards your high school education. We are proud of your determination to stay the course through to the end. All of you overcame the obstacles of doing school in the midst of a global pandemic. You persevered through situations where your very ability to adjust and adapt may have been the difference between your success or failure. Let those lessons continue to steer your journey into adulthood. Now, as we return to the majestic Symphony Hall for the first time in 2 graduation seasons, your class represents hope. Former President John Fitzgerald Kennedy once said something that I think is fitting for this occasion. It is along these lines: let us take the first step. Let us step back from the shadow and seek out the way. And if that journey is 1,000 miles or even more, let history record that we, in this land, at this time, took the first step. Thank you, class of 2022, for being the ones taking that first step. We are optimistic that this very occasion represents the dawning of brighter days ahead. And we are grateful for your resilience and perseverance throughout your challenging high school years. As I bring my remarks to a close, I'd like to share some impressive data about this graduating class. 78 of you will receive your high school diplomas tonight. 63 of you have plans for higher education. 3 of you will enter the military or have plans for immediate start to your career. And as a class, you have already achieved more than $5 million in scholarships. Wow. We know that it's because of students like you that the district has achieved its greatest improvement in the graduation and dropout rates in the history of the Springfield Public Schools. Thank you. That's all because of you. Thank you. Class of 2022, keep persevering, keep adapting so that you thrive in the face of life's challenges. And most importantly, keep stepping out towards new beginnings. Whether your next stage in life is the military, college, or career, we wish you all the best. Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick, for those warm welcome to our class of 2022. I am delighted to welcome Denise Hurst to the stage, who will give greetings on behalf of the school committee. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good evening, parents, guardians, family, friends, Superintendent Warwick, his senior leadership team, and fellow school committee colleagues. A special good evening to Principal Coburn and the entire faculty and staff that assisted in making this evening possible. And last but not least, the Springfield Renaissance graduating class of 2022. It is an honor to stand before you all tonight. I'm grateful that in spite of all that has occurred in our world, country, and in some of your own personal lives, you all made the choice to stay the course and achieve one of the most significant accomplishments in life, graduating high school. Each of you should be proud of yourselves. You are resilient, you have persevered, you are a part of history, and you are our future. In 2010, I gave a speech to the graduating class of Central High School, my alma mater, and I talked about how proud I was to be a Springfield Public School graduate, and I told the story about a time that resonated with me. During Memorial Day weekend of that year, around my kitchen table sat a group of lifelong friends, a doctor, an attorney, an accountant, several Springfield Public School teachers, a nurse, and a decorated two-tour Iraqi war veteran. All of us Springfield Public School graduates. And despite the odds and our zip codes, we all had made it and were contributing to making our city and our world a better place for the generations to come. And through many ups and downs, we maintained our friendships and leaned on one another during challenging times. Because like the mantra of the historically Black fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Incorporated, friendship is essential to the soul. While I thought that I always recognized the importance of that saying, it was affirmed and made abundantly clear to me 11 years later on Memorial Day weekend of 2021. After being isolated from some of my closest friends and even family, many of us thought we were in the clear from the pandemic. We were vaccinated and emerging from isolation, hungry to socialize and feel a sense of normalcy. My best friend from high school paid me a visit from New York City, and we had plans to visit with other old classmates on the Monday before everyone went their own ways. We came from near and far, Springfield, East Longmeadow, New York City, and North Carolina. We were particularly excited because with us would be our high school cheerleading coach, Ms. Filomena de Cavallo. And we decided to have breakfast at IHOP on Cooley Street. We caught up on all that had occurred over the course of the last 2 years. We cried and we laughed loudly, but not more loudly than the table that was a couple feet away from us. It was a table of young, excited individuals who seemed just as happy as we were to be out and about, creating memories and cultivating friendships. Shane Dillon, Chantel Cheney, Ariana Cotto, Jesse Lopez, and Tamia Francois were the young people at that table. Representatives of our future, vibrant, educative, and creative individuals from our city who will be responsible for combating health disparities, eradicating hunger and homelessness, teaching our youth, and dismantling systemic racism in all forms of oppression. Like many here today, I have spent a lot of time over the course of the last 2 years thinking, reflecting, listening, and learning. I dug deep to find the silver lining and the positive takeaways from such a trying time. And so tonight, graduates, I have learned a lot, but of those things, I want you to take away 3 things. You have to be the change you wish to see in this world. 2, one of the greatest gifts in life is friendships with your peers and with the teachers who have spent the last 4 years educating you. And finally, education is the one thing in life that cannot be taken from you. Use what you have learned to make a difference. In closing, remember, as you grab a hold of that diploma this evening, that you are the future of this great city and of this country. You have the ability to do great things. Congratulations and Godspeed to you.
Thank you. All right, at this time I want to acknowledge members from our student body. I first want to acknowledge our valedictorian, Nazarelli Gonzalez. Please stand. Nazarelli is a Questbridge National Scholar recipient who is studying biology on the pre-med track. She received a full ride to Dartmouth College. Yes. She is graduating with a 4.56 GPA. I also want to acknowledge our salutatorian, Sophia Romeo. Please stand. Sophia Romeo is also a Questbridge National Scholar recipient who received a full ride to Boston College. She will be studying biochemistry, and she is graduating with a 4.53 GPA. Let's give it up. All right, thank you both. Now Nazarelli will give her words. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, the Honorable Mayor Dominic Sarno, Superintendent Warwick, distinguished school committee members, guests, and most importantly, the class of 2022. It is an honor to stand before you all here tonight as this year's valedictorian. I'd first like to start off by thanking my family, but most importantly, my mother, the dazzling woman from whom I gained my life's supply of blood. My uncle, from whom I gained my strength and courage. And the rest of my family who shaped me to be the young woman I am today, my ultimate inspirations. They never gave me any idea that I couldn't be whomever I wanted to become and do whatever I wanted to accomplish. They filled my house with love, care, and fun, but they also weren't afraid to keep me accountable, to push me, to help me find the innate drive to always want more. As I grew, I noticed that I didn't need to find role models, but rather that they were right in front of me the entire time. I love you guys with all of my being. I'd also like to thank my friends and my educators. Without any of you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Without their endless amount of support, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to present the class of 2022. This opportunity to share a 3-minute speech filled with personal anecdotes that I will surely take advantage of. To begin my life, I have always had the odds against me. In this society, it isn't a privilege to be a woman, to be a STEM student, to be Hispanic, and to be raised by a single mother. But this isn't a sob story, but my upbringing story. I want to serve as inspiration for my school, my community, and my city. This isn't a success just for me, but for us all. It serves as evidence that determination and hard work will always come above all else. Although I started a few steps behind with these challenges and watched everyone else walk, I knew that I had to run. So I ran and ran and ran, and I will always run after my goals at full speed. Beating these struggles and the stereotypes tagged along with them one at a time. Just a small girl from Springfield with big dreams, but as Dr. Seuss says, oh, the places you'll go, as I'm off to Dartmouth just like he was. My educational journey here at Renaissance has been filled with so much good, but also very interesting moments. Somehow I managed to connect makeup products to the layers of our ecosphere, but that wasn't very clear all the way back in 9th grade. I succeed in every class because I always put my passions and interests in every piece of work I complete. Not only passions seep through my pores, but my curiosity. I'm sorry for all of the amazing educators that I had throughout my journey at Renaissance, that I annoyed with endless hand raises, questions, concerns, and clarity on every single rubric that ever existed. Especially in Mr. West's class this year. But hey, look where using my voice got me. So thank you for the astonishing amount of patience and care. I may have been the smallest student in your class, AKA the little one, shout out to Mr. T. But I made sure my mightiness overshined every time. I remember sitting in English class, writing my supplemental essays for Yale, Dartmouth, and Princeton. I had a bit of writer's block, and I could tell that I was trying too hard, simply overthinking. My friends huddled over me and told me, you don't have to worry about sounding smart. You are smart. At Renaissance, I was immersed in so many varied perspectives by the most amazing students that became my friends, and some of the most special individuals whom I will cherish forever. So thank you to those who have been with me by my side throughout it all. Everyone thinks that I have my life together, and I know it may seem like I have everything planned out, but the fact is that I don't. In fact, I had so many ideas floating through my mind while writing this speech, I had no idea what exactly I wanted to say, where to start, and where I wanted to go. If there's one thing to remember me by, I hope it won't be the tryhard or the girl who did everything, but the one who always made it work. There's one piece of advice I wanted to share. Nothing is ever planned as much as we want it to be, and that is simply okay. Let's enjoy the moments as they come. We've marked down the days on our calendar for tonight, counted the hours, minutes, and seconds till this very moment. I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them. So the class of 2022, soak in this moment. The moment we are all together for the final time. The moment where we get to decide the next steps in this new chapter of this thing we call life. All I see on this stage tonight are the brightest of futures. So class of 2022, this is our time to shine. To close, but there's one thing I can't forget to mention. Ever since I was a little girl, my goal was to be valedictorian. and my brother always asked me what would happen if I didn't win. Well, my brother, I guess we'll never know. Congratulations, we made it. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed night.
Let's give it up one more time for our valedictorian. All right, wonderful, wonderful words, Nazarelli, thank you. And now we will hear from our selected class speaker, Shane Dillon.
I'm glad I stopped sweating. Good evening, families, guests, and most importantly, graduates. For those of you that I had not had the opportunity to meet or follow on Facebook, my name is Shane Dillon, and I am honored to have been chosen by my classmates to deliver our message tonight as their class speaker. I love you too. Thank you all for being here as we close this chapter of our lives and begin a new one. I would first like to thank the dignitaries that we are joined by tonight. Mayor Sarno, who of course was running late, Superintendent Warwick, school committee members Hurst, Naylor, Collins, and Superintendent Warwick. Also, a big thank you to Dr. Coburn, Mrs. Cologne, Ms. Stoddard, and the rest of our admin and guidance team and the rest of the Renaissance staff. I also want to thank my mom, my unwavering shoulder to laugh and cry on. I love you and thank you. When I look across the stage at my fellow graduates, I'm not only reminded of the memories we share, like Brandon killing a bee he almost got stung by and getting a lecture on loving nature from Mr. Creedon, or Kaya beating me up in the hallway, or the noodle fights and cold French fries in 9th grade English when we acted out Romeo and Juliet, or the paper ammo trench battles with Sosa, or the many, many volleyball circles in the back of the school. But I also think about what our futures will hold. A majority of us started our Renaissance journey together in middle school and are ending it here tonight. We have lost friends, made new ones, and found pieces of our own puzzle. And that is precisely what our class reflects, one big giant puzzle. It has been my honor to be a part of this puzzle with all of you. Some take years, some take minutes, and others are never finished. The class of 2022 puzzle began 7 years ago when we were all somewhat innocent little 6th graders who didn't know what we were doing and cried at just about everything. We were a class that undoubtedly loved Mrs. Ekmelian, but knew not to mess with her under any circumstances, and who didn't even want to get out of our chairs to perform in Mrs. Sullivan's drama class. We were a class that poured pencil shavings down each other's backs and thought we were cool when we flirted with our crush and manifested our entire future with them. But like a puzzle, as dysfunctional as the beginning of our journey was, it has truly shaped itself into something beautiful. Tonight is the last night that we gather as high schoolers, and the minute that we receive our diploma, we are off into the real world, off into the perilous unknown, expected to have all of the answers. But it's just that. We don't have all the answers, and we aren't going to. And that is okay to admit. We don't get all of the answers from a textbook, or so a certain 12th grade statistics teacher would have us think. I love you, Mr. T. Most of us didn't have the answers to anything in high school, but let's not create a life cheat sheet and put the smartest at the front of the room, because life isn't 10th grade geometry and we actually need to know things this time. But what makes this different than when we started is that we know just a little more now than we did then. Damari still puts 27 sugars in his coffee, and I doubt that will change, but we still know a bit more now. The truth is, I know that we are going to survive in the real world because I have seen it individually in all of you. Kudos to all of the parents and parent-like figures in the audience tonight for shaping these wonderful young adults. Yeah. But I want to take a moment to talk about our perspective for a moment. We are growing up in a world where we are oftentimes given less and judged because of the color of our skin, because of the languages we speak, because of the countries we were born in, because of the food we eat, the music we listen to, and because of the shoes we wear. I'm not talking about my Romwe and She and Dad outfits, but you all get the point. Our reality is that we have to ask to use the bathroom one day, but budget our finances and live on our own the next. Despite our puzzles being difficult at times to put together, we have gotten through high school while taking care of our families, trying to find time for ourselves, working for wages that can't support anyone, ridding our atmosphere of stereotypical bullying, all while navigating a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic that caused trauma and grief for everyone. We get to say that we survived that, and we get to take that knowledge with us when we begin our next chapter. The difference between our generation and many others is that we will use that knowledge to craft an equitable world for our children and grandchildren so their puzzles aren't as challenging to complete as ours and our parents were. So here is my advice to all of you tonight. When it seems like the pieces of your puzzle aren't connecting, you could throw wet toilet paper at it or fill your boss's house with egg-filled balloons. No, in all honesty, when you think you need to look the world in the eyes and prove something you don't, the only thing you have to look at is yourself in a mirror and tell yourself that you can do it. Because I know and we know that you can. So maybe Renaissance had it right all those years ago. We are like a phoenix. We will continue to rise from the ashes. We will continue to thrive even when others wish we didn't. Because we have made it this far, and there are so many more puzzle pieces left for us to find. Thank you, good night, and congratulations.
Nice job, Shane. All right, thank you, Shane, for your words. Definitely inspirational. And now we will have our faculty speaker, Sosa!
Never saw myself as a celebrity. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I'm truly honored that I'm here with you guys. I don't know, it just means a lot to me to be speaking to you all. So thank you for honoring me with that. I'm not crying yet, don't worry. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. Sosa, and I was for most of them their 9th grade history teacher, their world history nerd. Now, for the start of this, okay, we're going to do like a little Miss Hale exercise, okay? I want you to close your eyes and go back in time to 2018-2019, your 9th grade year, okay? Now, in the realm of news, 2018 was quite a year. It was the royal wedding of Harry and Meghan Markle. The Tide Pod Challenge made its debut. I don't know why. Masks were things you wore on Halloween. Social distancing sounded like an old form of ghosting to end a relationship. I just need some social distance, okay? It was a time when test meant like a paper exam for a class rather than a Q-tip being shoved up your nose. Drake's God's Plan was actually Billboard's #1 song. It was just a different time. And if you remember ninth grade history, it was the year we had that epic paper ball fight, trench warfare. It was the year Cam yelled, "Damn you, Big Chungus," in a middle of a Kahoot showdown. I still have the Post-it note. And it was the year of profound wisdom from Alice when she said, quote, "How could you forget something if you never learned it?" I still don't know how to answer the question, Alice, but I saved the sticky note. If you're struggling to remember that wonderful, glorious, awesome year, here's some of the things you wrote me back in the letters you gave me in August of 2018. Yeah, it's gonna get good. All right, your collective music taste was interesting. Some of you loved the usual Drake, Rihanna, Billie Eilish was like a thing. But we had some throwbacks. Bella was jamming out to TLC's No Scrubs. Always a good one. Izzy was vibing with Britney Spears. Like, not embarrassed about it, like full on owning it. Appreciate you. And Eddie would, Eddie would sit down, turn the volume up to You're Welcome by The Rock in Moana, his favorite movie. Sorry, Eddie, but you know, it's okay. A lot of you, like a healthy majority, were like me, hooked on the Avengers. But some of you had a softer side, fans of The Notebook, Princess Bride, Crazy Rich Asians. But not Alice. Alice, sorry, you're making a reappearance. But you made it clear to me that, quote, "Movie-wise, I like watching all genres besides romance. I strongly dislike romance very much." I'm not sure if you were talking specifically about romantic movies or romance in general, but your passion was clear. Aside from your broad range of interests, some of you had your lives clearly laid out and seem to have followed that path. Ruth wrote, quote, "I see myself going to college for 8 years, studying architecture with a maximum of $24,000 debt." And correct me if I'm wrong, you are studying architecture and going into architecture. You knew it back then. While others had no clue what school you wanted to attend or what you wanted to do with your lives, some of you still had very specific goals. Shallon's grand plan, quote, "The biggest goal I have right now, besides getting through high school and figuring out what I want to be, is probably getting my dream dog, a Pembroke Welsh Corgi." She continued, quote, "I might have to save up a little bit before I get one, though. For now, I'm stuck with my leopard gecko, Lenny." Poor Lenny, the poor little dude, just hanging out. Clearly, this was a great group of kiddos. And I often look back on 2018, 2019, and think it probably was my best year of teaching. Everything's downhill. Sorry. I'm still a good teacher, everyone, don't worry. But the reason why is because like you loved what we were doing, and I would feed off of it. If you remember, you built detective boards for the Franz Ferdinand assassination. You declared war on each other while building empires, and you created amazing comic book covers, which I still use for my new kiddos. However, most notably, your ninth grade year. My wife pointed this out to me. She said, or it was your last normal year of school, if you think about it. As you were hitting your stride in 10th grade, March 2020 came, and the world just stopped. You were stuck in homes. Many of you took on the role of caretakers for your siblings and loved ones. Some of you got in jobs to support families, and you were isolated. Friendships went from awesome connections in person in the hallways to entirely tech-dependent form of friendship. We were also just so unsure of what was happening around us. And I remember you walked out of the building, it was like, I think it was March 12th of 2020, and it was, you knew you had a 3-day weekend. But all the teachers on that Friday were actually huddled, ironically, sharing way too much of the same air, talking about MCAS data. Meanwhile, the world was falling apart around us. And we never properly got to say goodbye. And it felt like a real-life version of Thanos snapping his finger. All of a sudden, you were just gone. Then your 11th grade year approached, and things didn't get much better. The majority of the year was remote, and you didn't get those moments in the hallways with each other. You didn't get a junior prom. Some of us got sick. Some of us had to continue to care for families. Some lost family members and friends. All the while, our country was a mess, and we were still figuring out how to survive and keep our mental health, physical health, family health, and futures together. And then your senior year came, and it was weird. For me, you were just larger versions of your 10th grade selves. So this entire year, you were just 10th graders, until probably right now. For you, desks were far apart. Hallways were a space of is this healthy? If you coughed, you were seemingly exiled, which probably still feels like the case. And my goodness, if you had your mask down, Ms. Dill would sure let you know. Cover that nose, cover that nose. I would hear it from my classroom. Thanks, Dill, by the way. Appreciate it. Just trying to keep kids safe. You played basketball with masks, and EJ still drained those threes, EJ. And I'm not even sure if we had a softball team by the end of the season. It just kind of evaporated. And school in general was just off, and we needed your help. We had to rebuild our school culture. And who stepped up to the plate but you guys? You were like our own version of the Avengers. Groups of you helped guide our 9th graders to the high school expectations through the task force, Shane, Oliver, Nazarelli, Megan. And some through questionable treatment of bathrooms by showing them what not to do. Brandon, Ivan, Ivory, just to name a few. Sensitive subject, sorry. So while I reflect on your 9th grade year and your senior year, I've learned 2 things from you all. The power of resiliency and the power of love. And I look back at my phone to find pictures from your 9th grade year, and I remember seeing Marvin helping Oliver on a ropes course. Cam took on the role as a machine gunner in the trench warfare simulation with this giant smile on his face. And today I see the new members who I didn't get to teach, Geneva, Brandy, and Leonexis. You were fully embraced by your peers, and I'm just jealous I never got to teach you all. I see tremendous growth from people like Mai, who, he had a rocky 9th grade year. Matrim coming into his own fashion style with his Canadian tuxedo on prom night. I saw Alasia being her awesome self, helping Moses in ELA. I see Ivan turning things around. Ivory presenting his amazing work on that silent Western film, which is still my favorite thing. Ivory, I don't know, but that moment was just so important for me. I was just so proud of you. And throughout all of this time, I still see the same love you have for your friends, the support you give one another, despite the chaos and isolation of the last 2 years. Class of 2022, and to your families, what you've accomplished is something that no other generation has gone through. And the way you did it warms my heart. I'm gonna miss you all so much. My Tuesday lunches, my classroom light being turned off by Giselle, the random game of binder clip tag and you just sprinting down the halls, and I was I don't know what's going on. The overall joy and goodness you have. So as you move on from the doors of 1170 Carew Street, keep that joy with you and remember to celebrate all that you've overcome. I know the world can be scary at times, Samir. We had that chat in your last day. It's a little scary. You're going to be okay. But as you've shown, not only can you handle it, but you can handle it with love and grace, making this a better place. Hold on to your ability to see the good in the world and continue to use the agency you have over your own lives and the lives of others. Congratulations, class of 2022. I love you 3,000.
Nice job, Mr. Sosa. Class of 2022, you have made us proud. You have left a mark on Renaissance that will forever be here. You have all pushed to exemplify our character traits. And I hope as you continue on your different paths, you will carry each one of our character traits with you. That you will have the courage to do the right thing when no one is looking. That you will be kind and respectful to others. That you will show friendship and cultural sensitivity each time you meet someone new. That you will persevere even when things get difficult. And you'll have the self-discipline to know when you need to buckle down and get more focus. And most important, you will make responsible decisions for your life. I want you all to go out into this world and continue to leave your mark. You are graduating in a world that is forever changing the rules. A world that keeps moving the finish line. A world that is unforgiving, so I push you to be unapologetic when you create the tables that others will want to sit at. I want you to not wait for seats at the table. I don't want you to wait for doors to open. You must be the creators of the doors and the tables that will be opened for others. The urgency for all of you to go out and be the change makers is so important. I wish all of you nothing but the very best. I hope you all know how much you mean to us at Renaissance. We miss you all. Class of 2022, you are loved. I love you all and will miss you. Si se puede. All right, this is the part you all have been waiting for. Get your cameras ready. Superintendent Daniel Warwick, as the principal of the Springfield Renaissance School, I certify that these seniors have met all of the graduation requirements set forth by the Springfield Public Schools and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the class of 2022.
You have been certified as having met all the graduation requirements. By the powers vested in me by the Springfield School Committee and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby declare the class of 2022 to be graduates of the Springfield Renaissance School. You may now move your tassels from the right to the left.
Okay, everybody. Class 2022, you ready? You ready? All right. Jordan Rodriguez. It's okay. You can go right here. Yep. Jadalise Ruiz Rodriguez. Jaden Rodriguez. Elenanel Flores Rivera. Nazarelli Jalice Gonzalez. Sophia Romeo. Shane Dillon. Megan Curley. Leonexis Reyes. Samuel Lopez Perez. Shallon Payne. Isabel Adorno. Jezreel Lopez. Lariana Rios. Alejandra Almanza. Kaya Huff. Araceli Cotto. Tatiana Reyes. Jalen Torres. Oh. Aaliyah LaBoy. Candace Long. Dejari Wilson. Marley Turner. Alyssa Marty. Ariana Cotto. Ziawana Katala. Anthony Sandoval. Brandy Lee Crawford. Odin Otero. Ariana Bailey. Lennox White. Haley Lambert. Justin Hicks. Lorenzo Hall. Jaden Aponte. Jaden Lizardi. Gilberto Rojas. Chantel Ann Cheney. Geneva Lee Brown. Holy moly. Victoria Resto. Layra Mora. Tamaya Francois. Adriana Maria Ochoa. Jaime Isabella Taimi Rosado. Dallas Woods. Eddie Vega. Alexander Soto Ramirez. Tavion Griffin. Congratulations. Giselle Rodriguez. Serenity Rodriguez.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Brandon Burgos. Elliot Brandafino. Ready? Ivory Johnson. Keyshawn Watson. Ivan Johnson. Annabella Grant. Alice Lape. Alasia Rayford. Ruth Rosario Monserrati. David Alexander Perez. Josue Rodriguez Santiago. Samara Echevarria. Camila Jimenez. Brian Toussaint. William Rivera Nieves. Medhani Michael. Cameron Ahern. Yamil Lopez. Moses Jimenez. Nizea Henderson. Marvin Jean Mary. Matram Mangine. Ruth Estienne Garcia. Jarius Sastre. Michelle Hill.
I ain't do nothing wrong.
Damari Peters.
Say it. Figueroa.
Oliver Figueroa.
All right, let's give it up for them. They are graduates. Yes. All right now. Okay. Yes. Nice job. One more round of applause. At this time, I would like to thank all of our guests for coming. I'm going to invite the dignitaries to exit the stage. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask that our audience please rise. All right. I'm going to ask that our guests please stay in your seats. We're going to have our graduates dismissed first. Please stand. All right. The building. Have a great, safe night, everyone.